The Red Cross responds to nearly 66,000 disasters every year, most of them house fires. Red Cross President and CEO Gail McGovern says you need to develop an evacuation plan and practice it, especially with your children. It takes just 2 minutes for a home to be engulfed in flames.
Practice those drills. We all think our kids know what to do. They don't. We need to teach them. We have started a large campaign where we're going into vulnerable communities and helping install smoke alarms. Already 92 lives were saved, and 4 of those lives were saved by a 5-year-old girl who remembered what we taught them during these fire drills, and she got her family out. We also have a slew of free apps that people can download onto their smartphones. It's what to do in every kind of disaster you can imagine, how to prepare and how to recover.
To help support all the Red Cross does and to make a financial donation, go to redcross.org. That's redcross.org.
See that cute little dog in the pet store window? Chances are it came from a puppy mill. A breeding facility that forces caged, neglected, and often sick dogs to churn out puppy after puppy to be sold for profit. Meanwhile, millions of wonderful, healthy pets end up in animal shelters. This leads to the killing of more than 9,000 by the end of today. But with one simple choice, you can help. Just by deciding to adopt instead of purchase your next pet. Animal shelters are full of amazing pets looking for a home. When you adopt your new best friend, not only are you saving a life, you're taking a stand against puppy mills. When your friends see the smart choice and impact you've made, they adopt their next pet and share with 5 of their friends, who share with 5 more. Before long, thousands get involved. Pet stores stop selling dogs from puppy mills, and even more lives are saved. And with your help, we can save them all. Visit bestfriends.org/puppymills to learn more.
It's Thursday night, and you're grabbing drinks with some friends. Started off with a pitcher for the table, which quickly becomes 2. There's pool. And there's the photo booth.
All right, everybody squeeze in. Say cheese!
Followed naturally by an order of wings. And another.
Can we get some extra ranch sauce?
Then there's the ceremonial nightcap.
So what are we doing this weekend?
And lastly, it's back to the car, which, if you're buzzed, could be the most expensive night of your life. Getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzz driving, because buzz driving is drunk driving. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Hi, I'm Jeremy Schaap. You may know me from ESPN's Outside the Lines and Sports Center. What you probably don't know is that I've suffered from Crohn's disease for almost 20 years. The Crohn's and Colitis Foundation of America's Take Steps, Be Heard walk program is the largest national walk program dedicated to raising funds and awareness to combat Crohn's disease and ulcerative colitis. To learn more about how you can help and to find a walk site near you, please visit www.cctakesteps.org.
Think fast. In the short time it takes to listen to this message, a small flame can turn into a big fire. Several minutes more, and thick, poisonous smoke may have filled your lungs and reduced your ability to respond. Give it 5, and your entire home may be filled with flames.
Keep breathing. We've got you.
Don't let your world go up in smoke. Have working smoke alarms and practice an escape plan for you and your loved ones. Learn more at usfa.fema.gov, because fire is everyone's fight.
Have you mixed your pain meds, your sleep meds, your allergy meds? Call the Poison Helpline. Has your child eaten a tube of toothpaste, a chip of paint, a wild mushroom? Call the Poison Helpline. Have you been bitten by a spider, a snake, an insect? Call the Poison Helpline. Poisonings can happen at the home, on the job, or in the great outdoors. Call the Poison Helpline first for fast, free advice from medical professionals. Call 1-800-222-1222 anytime, anywhere. 1-800-222-1222. Save the number, save a life. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Every day, the men and women of the United States Marine Corps demonstrate their commitment to defend the American way of life. Since 1775, we have served our nation as a force in readiness. From combat operations to humanitarian assistance in every corner of the world. No matter where the mission takes us today or wherever our country needs us tomorrow, we always remember the land we call home. As Marines, we take a stand for each other, for our nation, for us all. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Hi, I'm Hillary Duff. As a mom, I'm proud to support the March of Dimes in helping more women have full-term pregnancies and healthy babies. That's why I walk in March for Babies. The money we raise funds research and local programs that help babies overcome the challenges of premature birth and birth defects. Sign up today at marchforbabies.org. Together, we can help make healthier babies possible for thousands of families.
The following program is closed captioned for the thinking impaired.
Zinc Media. Feel the power of knowledge.
Studio located somewhere within the great granite state of New Hampshire. It's Rod Eccles.
Good morning to all of you liberty lovers and ecclesiastites all across the globe. Yes, it is I, your lovable host, Rod, coming to you live this Tuesday morning. Tuesday, June at number 13 in the year of our Lord 2017. Almost halfway through June already. Where the hell is the time going? Well, if I could slow it down, I would, but I can't, so I won't. So we got to get used to this new time, this new speeding time. You know what it is? It's time wants us to get through the entire first Trump administration, so we see all the great things that he does. I'm convinced of that. Time. The master of time is speeding up time so we can get through it so people see how great he was. I know. That's got to be the explanation. Any case, this morning the phone number to call in and connect with yours truly is 603-835-3226. You know, I am not a sycophant in either direction on Trump. But I got to tell you, I run into all these sycophants all the time about these people that absolutely hate Donald J. Trump as president. Can't stand him. And you ask, why? Why? And they cannot give you a cognizant, coherent, logical, and they don't even have to be logical. They just can't give you a coherent reason as to why they dislike him. Some of the things that I've heard them say about Donald Trump. Well, Donald Trump, because he invited the Russians to hack the Hillary's emails. He really didn't, but that wasn't illegal. Yes, it was, and he should be in jail for it. So Hillary having emails on a private server that were of a sensitive nature was not illegal, but Trump asking the Russians to hack her email is illegal. And people, the person who's an anti-Trumper said yes. How the hell do you think that having emails of a sensitive nature on a non-secure server that is against the regulations and against the law, how does that not make Hillary a criminal? But Trump just in a joke, as a passing joke, says, well, maybe the Russians should help Hillary find her missing emails, be illegal. Well, here is the reason, folks, that the left does not like Donald Trump. I want you to pay attention to this because it's really, think about it. The reason the left does not like Donald Trump is because the left has no real sense of humor. Their sense of humor is Kathy Griffin holding up a likeness of Donald Trump's beheaded head. And then they run around talking about, well, we're all Kathy Griffin. Really? You all want to run around with a severed head likeness of Donald Trump? But that is humor. That is funny to you. But Trump just suggesting in a joke that, well, maybe Hillary can't find her emails and the FBI can't find her emails. Well, maybe the Russians can. Seeing how by that point they were blaming the Russians for a lot of stuff. So it was kind of funny. So the reason the left does not like, and this is the same thing with so-called anti-Trumper Republicans. These people literally have no sense of humor. If you watch a protest, now I want people to notice. Now I don't have TV yet. We're getting there, folks. Don't video. But I want you to go and look at the differences between demonstrations of the Tea Party and any of the leftist groups today. I don't care if it's Black Lives Matter. I don't care if it's the gay, the happy gay prides. Whoever it is on the left, any of these marches, any of these protests on the left. Compare that with the protests from the Tea Party when Obama was in his first term. You're going to notice a stark difference. I'm not even going to have to tell you, but I'm going to tell you anyway. It's going to be that glaring. You're going to see the Tea Party, for the most part, definitely protecting the Constitution and not liking all of the ideas coming from the Obama administration. If you watch those on the left, this really has nothing to do with the ideas of Donald Trump, because some of those ideas, believe it or not, are very, are the exact same thing as Obama, like his so-called Islam ban. It was pretty much word for word what Obama had. This is just sheer hatred for hatred's sake. Sheer hatred for hatred's sake. Say that 5 times fast. That's all it is, folks. It is just sheer hatred for hatred's sake, because he is not the person that they originally wanted. And he is not of the liberal bent. In other words, Donald Trump doesn't agree that all corporations are evil, that all big government is good, and everybody should get free health care, free food, and free education, and then that only the rich people should pay for it. So it's this pure hate. It's a hatred out of ignorance, actually, but it's still pure hatred. Because again, if you ask them specifically why they hate Donald Trump, most of them cannot give you a specific. They can give you a soundbite. But they cannot give you an actual, real statistic or reason. The whole issue is simply because these people just don't like Donald Trump because he's not of the party that they endorse. And they have no sense of humor. Frankly, folks, that is the reason. And you know these people don't have a sense of humor, because if you watch some of these people like Mark Dice and some of these other people on YouTube, and these guys have some humor, and they're even smiling during some of the questions. And they're asking these people, some pretty funny questions, and these people that they're asking, these liberals, do not smile, and they answer with the seriousness of a heart attack. Even when it sounds absolutely ludicrous. There is a woman who's holding up an anti-Trump sign, and the reason why she's anti-Trump because Trump pulled out of the Paris Accord. And the interviewer said, well, even if the Paris Accord didn't do anything to change global warming, and it was only going to take money out of people's pockets here in the USA and redistribute it around the world, you don't think that Trump should have done it? And her answer was, no, because it shows lack of leadership from Donald Trump's administration that we get out of the Paris Accord. But the Paris Accord wasn't going to do anything for global warming or global climate change. No sense of humor at all. Which is why I'm kind of surprised that Google actually, well, it's not Google, I guess. It's not Google. But here we have all these wonderful holidays that we need to get to today. I mean, there's not a lot today. June 13th is devoid of many holidays. Some days they're just a plethora of them, and some days like today there's barely a handful. So today, June 13, in the year of our Lord 2017, is Weed Your Garden Day. Today is the only day of the entire damn year that you weed your garden. It's Weed Your Garden Day. If every day is not Weed Your Garden Day, then today is Weed Your Garden Day. So today is Weed Your Garden Day. Today is also World Pet Memorial Day. Yes, World Pet Memorial Day was created by the American Veterinary Medical Association. Yeah, well, it's not. I guess it's not for your pet, but it's for the memorializing. So, World Pet Memorial Day was created by the American Veterinary Medical Association as a day to memorialize your pets that have passed away. So, how to celebrate? On this day, you may celebrate the lives of your pets that have died. There are many ways you could do this. You could make a picture collage or a scrapbook of your beloved pet, or frame a favorite photo of them. You could plant a tree or other plant in their memory. You could also donate your money or time to a place that helps animals. This may also be a good day to view Errol Morris' film Gates of Heaven. So there you have it. Today is a World Pet Memorial Day. It is also Sewing Machine Day. Yes, I did not. Well, why not? Everything else has got its own day. So today is also Sewing Machine Day. And it is also National Kitchen Klutzes of America Day. Here's the description of the holiday today. National Kitchen Klutzes of America Day is being observed today. It has always been observed annually on June 13th. National Kitchen Klutzes of America Day is dedicated to anyone and everyone who has ever been a klutz in the kitchen. Some of you may have knocked a mixing bowl onto the floor when you were stirring it. Some of you may have put the wrong ingredients in a recipe, burnt your creation to a crisp, or cut off your fingers. Youch. This day is for all of you. It is a day to remind you that it's okay to be a klutz in the kitchen at least for a day. It's not okay to cut off your fingers. And if you're cutting off your fingers in the kitchen, somebody ought to take sharp objects away from you. Basically, how to celebrate. You celebrate the day by being your klutziest in the kitchen. Embrace your inner klutz and don't try to fight it. If things go wrong, just go with the flow. But as this is the only day when you should be okay with being a klutz in the kitchen, it might be a good idea to spend the day reviewing kitchen safety techniques or organizing your kitchen. This way you will readily be less klutzy throughout the rest of the year. In honor of the day, you could also take a look at some of the exhibits at the Burnt Food Museum and see how klutzy people... What? There's a Burnt Food Museum? Really? This surely, this could not have been a holiday invented by liberals because they don't have a sense of humor.
You're listening to me, your lovable host, Rod, here on the Rod Eccles Show.
We've all heard of male enhancement, but now there's an expert on true male enhancement in the areas that really count. In Herb Ellis's book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, you'll find answers to questions like, why doesn't she want to have sex? A quick start, quick results workout guide, plus what you can do as a side hustle to make money now. With all the great tips in this book, every man can benefit. Get the book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, on Amazon.com.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
It started with a knock, but it wouldn't end there. What happens in the story next, many wouldn't understand, and most wouldn't believe. 5 + 2 = Perfection by Samuel Rosette Jr. is a must-read. The scriptures within are reminders of the ancient past, and yet intriguingly infuses with texts which stand on the edge of the stage of relevancy. Available online at Westbow Press, Amazon, Books A Million, Barnes & Noble, and SamuelRosetteJr.com.
And now a message from our sponsor. Ladies, tired of drying your hair with the same old vacuum cleaner? Try Avon Shade brand new Beauty Locks portable hair dryer. It's smaller, it's faster, it's guaranteed to give you the hair you've always wanted in half the time. Beauty Locks is delicate and dainty, just like you. The dryer weighs only a pound and easily fits in your hand. Now that's beauty and convenience. With a speedy motor that will dry your hair in as little as 25 minutes, you can get gorgeous hair without falling behind schedule. Don't worry about the little ones or that pie in the oven. Thanks to an extra-long extension cord, you can move around while primping your locks. Forget those long trips to the salon and no more waiting for hours under monster machines. Avon Shea gives you an easy and speedy hairdo that will blow your man away. Get it now at your nearest Macy's.
You're listening to The Rod Eccles Show. Let truth be told.
Six 603-835-3226. Welcome back. Liberals, Democrats, all those on the left, they lack a real sense of humor. They do. I'm sorry, they do. These people take themselves way too seriously, even when they don't even know what the hell they're talking about. I mean, it's just amazing. Then they try to give you a line of BS that is beyond lines of BS in order to explain their positioning. So the reason not to like Donald Trump for pulling out of the Paris Accord is not because the Paris Accord is actually not going to do a damn thing for the planet, but cost us jobs and money. Is simply because they believe that this shows the lack of leadership in the world from Donald Trump. As if the United States, following every other country on the planet, is exuding leadership. I don't know how many times I have to say this. Do folks realize that in the Paris Accord, the reason why the Chinese and the Indians from India got on board is because it wasn't going to cost them anything? As a matter of fact, that in certain cases, China was actually going to get some of our money. The world's second largest economy, soon to be the world's largest economy, is considered by the UN in this climate change to be a poor nation, and therefore eligible to get some subsidies from the UN funded by the United States, France, Germany, and England. Mostly. China, of all people. India was not going to have to cut back on its pollution simply because it made the statement, by 2025 or some stupid year like that, the only cars that are going to be on the roads in India are going to be electric. Well, where the hell do you think they're going to get all the electric producing plants to produce all the electricity for those millions of electric cars on Indian roads? Ask a liberal that. They shrug their shoulders. Well, I don't know, but the cars are green. No, if the electricity is produced by a coal plant, how the hell is that car green? And then if you bring that stuff up, instead of thinking, well, you know what, maybe we should think about that and go and try to fix that before it happens. No, they want to shut you down. Oh, shut your mouth. You don't know what you're talking about. You're just a Trumper. You love Trump. That's all there is. I mean, it's just ridiculous. They have no sense of humor. They have no sense of truth. They have no sense of justice. They don't even know what justice is. Their sense of justice is, okay, you can kill a baby, but you can't kill a baby killer. Just seriously. You can kill an unborn child, and that's fine. You're not a murderer. You can abort a child. You're not a murderer. But if you're an adult and you murder a baby, well, that's a different story. So, and you can't kill the baby killer. That's not allowed. You can murder the unborn child, but society, to get justice, cannot kill or put down the person who actually kills a baby. I'm talking about a live baby. Now, after birth baby. No, we need to rehabilitate them. Give them a second chance or a third chance or a fourth chance. It's evil to put them down. What kind of society kills people? Well, I guess the same kind of society that allows abortion to happen. Well, that's not really a human being, you know, Rod. Where have you been? Science says it's not a human being. It's a lump of flesh or cells, Rod. It's not a human being. Well, when does it become a human being? When it's born? Yes. So then that some of the laws that we now have in the books that charges somebody with double murder if the woman is pregnant shouldn't be that way? Well, no, it should be. So it's only a baby when the mom wants it to be a baby, but when the mom doesn't want it to be a baby because she wants to abort it, then it's not a baby? How does that jive with your notion that it's just a lump of flesh? Well, it's complicated. No, it's not complicated. Look, I've actually had somebody tell me that it's complicated to explain. A pro-abortionist tell me that it's complicated. It's not complicated. Either it is a human being or it is not. There's no gray area. It's not complicated. It's only complicated for Neanderthals who have no brains. That's who it's complicated for.
The Red Cross responds to nearly 66,000 disasters every year, most of them house fires. Red Cross President and CEO Gail McGovern says you need to develop an evacuation plan and practice it, especially with your children. It takes just 2 minutes for a home to be engulfed in flames.
Practice those drills. We all think our kids know what to do. They don't. We need to teach them. We have started a large campaign where we're going into vulnerable communities and helping install smoke alarms. Already 92 lives were saved, and 4 of those lives were saved by a 5-year-old girl who remembered what we taught them during these fire drills, and she got her family out. We also have a slew of free apps that people can download onto their smartphones. It's what to do in every kind of disaster you can imagine, how to prepare and how to recover.
To help support all the Red Cross does and to make a financial donation, go to redcross.org. That's redcross.org.
I'm just so happy my father had a chance to see his kids before he passed. I just want to say thank you.
When her father fell ill, the American Red Cross was able to help get Veronica's brother home from the Navy to speak to his father one last time. It's thanks to your donations that we can connect military families when they need it most. Please donate today at redcross.org.
It's Thursday night, and you're grabbing drinks with some friends. Started off with a pitcher for the table, which quickly becomes 2. There's pool. And there's the photo booth.
All right, everybody squeeze in. Say cheese!
Followed naturally by an order of wings. And another.
Can we get some extra ranch sauce?
Then there's the ceremonial nightcap.
So what are we doing this weekend?
And lastly, it's back to the car, which, if you're buzzed, could be the most expensive night of your life. Getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzz driving, because buzz driving is drunk driving. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Every day, the men and women of the United States Marine Corps demonstrate their commitment to defend the American way of life. Since 1775, we have served our nation as a force in readiness. From combat operations to humanitarian assistance in every corner of the world. No matter where the mission takes us today, or wherever our country needs us tomorrow, we always remember the land we call home. As Marines, we take a stand for each other, for our nation, for us all. The few, the proud, the Marines.
I considered suicide so I wouldn't put my family through all the pain.
Many of our warriors are returning home from the battlefield, only to face a new war as they struggle with devastating injuries. At Wounded Warrior Project, we understand. We're there to help.
Even though you think you're broken, you're not. It's the physical and the emotional healing that Wounded Warrior Project provides.
With a gift of just $19 a month, you can join Wounded Warrior Project. You'll help provide critically needed programs and services that rebuild lives.
Beautiful. There you go, buddy.
The ongoing needs of our wounded and their families will continue for many years to come. Now is the time to show your support. Call now or go online with your gift of just $19 a month, and we'll send you this Wounded Warrior Project blanket.
It made me feel that there's people out there that care about us.
After this event, we can finally maybe start to heal as a family and move forward.
We need your help. The families are hurting.
For many of our wounded heroes, the greatest casualty is being forgotten. That's why your gift of just $19 a month is so important. Please, call or go online right now.
This whole notion that things are complicated when they try to give you a simplified reason or explanation is just liberal doublespeak. And it's really, now folks, don't get upset here. Let me just lay this out for you very simply. Liberals do not understand the difference between simplicity and complication. Because they first try to simplify things by making a simplified law or statement. And then their explanation behind the simplified law or simplified policy or statement is complicated. Abortion rights is simple, Rod. It's simple. Because a woman gets to choose what she wants to do with her body. But that's another human being in that woman's body. Doesn't that child have the right to be alive and to grow? Oh, well, that's complicated. Well, how is it complicated? You just said it was simple, that the woman gets to do with whatever she wants to do with her own body. Well, it gets complicated because then you have to start thinking about, well, what if there's another body, a real body? Well, don't they have a right to? Well, yes, they do, but they don't because we decided that they're not human yet. So, if a lump of flesh is not human and thus does not deserve human rights, how is it that every other creature on the planet gets to have the equivalent of human rights? Wild animals out there get to have human rights. I mean, so much so that sometimes when there are cases that go to court, there are human lawyers that represent wild animals. Because these wild animals deserve a representation. You know, your cat and your dog deserve a representation in court too, if necessary. Human. Not just, they don't get represented by another dog. No, they get represented by a human. So the baby growing inside a woman's womb is not a human being. But your dog, your cat, your lizard is a human being. And the explanation for that is complicated. In other words, it's complicated because they have no explanation for it. Whenever somebody tells you that, well, it's complicated. Okay, let me see. I got time. Start explaining. Well, it's too complicated to explain. If somebody says something's too complicated to explain, it means two things. They don't understand what the hell they're talking about. And they know that they're wrong. No matter how they put it, they're going to be wrong. And then if you try to call them out on it, well, you know, then they get real serious on your ass. So you don't have a sense of humor. And I can't tell you how many times I've been obviously sarcastic in liberal chat rooms, and nobody gets the sarcasm. It's obviously sarcastic, but because they have no sense of humor, none of them get the sarcasm at all. It's amazing. I mean, you don't even have to know me. Well, I mean, if you do know me, you know that I'm extremely sarcastic, and I can be sarcastic to the point where I can be just downright mean. I don't mean to be. It's not on purpose. God made me that way. Speaking of God made me that way, I got a story here about, where the hell did I put that story? It's in the paper pile. Did I put it in the paper pile? It did not even, it didn't print out, did it? I have to go find it during the break. There's a story here. Speaking of God made me that way, there is a story that there is a record number of trannies running for public office this year. Something like 20 of them. And most of them are guys pretending to be girls. I'm sorry. I can't go with this anymore. I just can't. I was discussing this with friends yesterday about the whole transgender issue. And now you have to understand, one of them is pretty open. She's a counselor type of person. So she's not exactly a conservative. She's not really a liberal, but she's a moderate. But she has to deal with people like this on a daily basis, and she's a counselor, professional counselor. And this professional, well-trained counselor has an issue with transgenderism. She doesn't understand it either. Yes, I said she. I mean, I'm thinking it's a mental disorder, and she says, well, she backed me up that when these people decide that they want to change their sex, really try to change their sex on an outward basis, and by taking hormones, I said, well, aren't they supposed to go through mental counseling and go all through this battery of mental, testing to make sure that they're sane? And she says, yes, but that's not what happens. What they do is they end up going to somebody who's a cheerleader that says, oh, it's okay to do whatever you want to make yourself feel happy and accepted. I said, that's cheerleading. That's not actually getting to the problem and helping them. That's making things worse. But I'll get that. I mean, what the hell happened to half my stuff is all of a sudden missing here? I mean, I know I printed it out in a paper pile. It's here. See, it's on, and it's in the history too. So I'll get that during the break and bring it to you. Here's a story that is quite interesting. Are we ready to add another state? I mean, we can't even get these 50 states to actually, coagulate properly. We have a situation down in Puerto Rico. Now, the Puerto Rico issue, it's complicated. Well, here's the deal. Evidently, Puerto Rico had a vote yesterday. Why on a Monday? I don't know, but evidently it was yesterday. And the vote was highly lopsided. Now, I'm looking at the results of the polling. Of the voter polls, and it's just something doesn't make sense. The polls closed, the headlines began showing up in social media calling it a landslide in favor of abandoning the island's territorial status and taking their place as the USA's 51st state. At least as it goes in terms of percentages involved, it wasn't even close. Yes. Here's the story. Puerto Rico's governor is vowing to turn the U.S. territory into the 51st state after statehood won a non-binding referendum hit by a boycott and low turnout that raised questions about the vote's legitimacy. So, wait. Let me see if now, this is complicated, folks. It's complicated. Let me see if I understand this. There was a Puerto Rican national referendum, non-binding, by the way, that was boycotted by the very people that are supposed to vote on it. You're following me so far. All right, this was an important vote. Does the island of Puerto Rico, does it stay a territory? Does it become a state? Or does it go independent? And there was an organized boycott of that vote. I don't know why. Why the hell would you boycott the determination of your island nation? I have no idea. I can't even begin to speculate on that. That makes no sense. Well, unless, of course, you understand and realize that the vote is going to go against the way that you want it to go, then you would say, well, let's boycott it. Because it's just going to go the way that we don't want it to go anyway. More than 500,000 people voted for statehood during Sunday's referendum. Well, followed by, now, 500,000 people, that's 500,000. More than 500,000 people voted for statehood. The next largest vote getter was for free association or independence from the U.S. of A. In other words, no longer be U.S. citizens. 7,800 people voted for that. 500,000 people voted for statehood. 7,800 people voted for independence. And 6,800 votes for the current territorial status. In other words, 6,800 people voted to remain a territory. Now, here's the problem. Voter turnout was just 23% of the eligible voting population still living on the island of Puerto Rico. 23% of the population, eligible voters, voted. It was the lowest level of participation in any election in Puerto Rico since 1967. Hey, really? 1967. But that is going... Now, the governor of Puerto Rico is saying, well, this vote proves it. I'm going to do everything in my power to become a state. Well, first of all, that's also a very complicated process in becoming a state. It's not easy. And frankly, Puerto Rico is nowhere near, well, of course they're going to... I am sure there are plenty of Democrats and liberals in Congress that would try to push forward and say, well, the rules are unfair. We need to change the rules to allow Puerto Rico to become a state. Now, there are some specific rules. I mean, there are fiscal rules. And the problem is that you've got to be, in order to become a state, you've got to be physically sound and have certain things in place already. Now, once you become a state, you can screw all that crap up. But in order to become a state, you've at least got. I know, it's complicated. These people, they... Here's the deal. Let me just break it down simply. If you want to become a state of a member state of the Union of the United States of America, let me just say you have to be physically responsible. You have to have a tax policy in place that gives you what you need in your state without the assistance of federal aid. And you have to be in the black. You can't be in the red. You can't be running a deficit. You can't be in debt. You've got to be physically sound. Your government must be physically sound. You must have also laws that coincide with and mesh well with the federal laws, federal government. So in other words, all the Bill of Rights and everything, you've got to already be in place to have all that stuff in place as if you were already a state. Now, once you become a state, all that shit can be thrown out the window. Look at California, for crying out loud. Being fiscally responsible without your hand out to the federal government goes out the window once you become a state. You don't gotta. You can do everything in your power to be anti-responsible, fiscally responsible. Like California, and then hold your hand out and say, well, hey, we need money here because we screwed up. Now, frankly, I don't understand why there really is no additional benefit for Puerto Rico to become a state because their territorial status gives them such a status as they get to vote for president. They're given full-fledged American citizenship. They have American passports. They can go anywhere in the USA that anybody else can go. And they don't even have to speak English. Hell, now, because Puerto Ricans, a lot of them speak only Spanish, that's a disability eligible for federal aid in some form or another. Why the hell would you want to change all that? That might be why some people just boycotted the vote, because they want to keep that wonderful dual status that they have. We're citizens, but we're not. Whenever we want to be a full citizen, we can be a full citizen. But if we want to hang out down here in Puerto Rico and do our own thing, we can. And they got the best of both worlds, to tell you the truth. And if they screw up physically, financially, they still have the ability to reach out to the federal government and say, help us, bail us out. We effed up. We can't help it. But in order to become a state, a state gives them full representation in the Senate, meaning that they get 2 senators, and I do believe the population is such it would give them two congressmen. So they get full, but they don't have that full representation now. But they would, if they were a full-fledged state. I don't see the benefit of having that. To tell you the truth, I don't see the benefit. I'm just saying, maybe the boycotters down there had something, had a reason, and their reason was just as I stated. I guarantee you that's the reason. Why pay up when you don't have to?
Hello, America. It's me, your history. I remember a time when we thumbed our nose in a king's face, sent him packing. And when fascists and emperors talked a little bit too loud, we showed up, tore their cities to the ground, and then rebuilt them just to prove we could. We put men on the moon, we won a Cold War, and we elected fearless leaders who led fearless people. What the hell happened to you, America? Back in my day, we didn't elect a big-eared community organizer. We punched him in the kidney. Maybe it's time you came home, America. Home where you belong.
We've all heard of male enhancement, but now there's an expert on true male enhancement in the areas that really count. In Herb Ellis's book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, you'll find answers to questions like, why doesn't she want to have sex? A quick start, quick results workout guide. Plus, what you can do as a side hustle to make money now. With all the great tips in this book, every man can benefit. Get the book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, on Amazon.com.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
It started with a knock, but it wouldn't end there. What happens in the story next, many wouldn't understand, and most wouldn't believe. 5 + 2 = Perfection by Samuel Rosette Jr. is a must-read. The scriptures within are reminders of the ancient past, and yet intriguingly infuses with texts which stand on the edge of the stage of relevancy. Available online at Westbow Press, Amazon, Books A Million, Barnes & Noble, and SamuelRosetteJr.com.
This is Free America broadcasting on the Rod Eccles Show with a message to all patriots trapped behind the lines in California, New York, Boston, and Chicago. Don't give up, true lovers of America. Even as we speak, moves are being made to drive the invaders back to the land from which they came. Defeat the would-be dictators and lift the chains of tyranny from around your neck. Stay strong. Stay brave. You're not forgotten, and you're not alone. Until next time, patriots, this is Free America signing out.
Call Rod now, 603-835-3226. Lines are open.
What I saw when I was in Puerto Rico late last summer, September, I saw something quite amazing because I'd never been before, and I was on a cruise with my mother, and we one of the stops was Puerto Rico, and it was beautiful there, absolutely gorgeous, tropical island paradise. But what I noticed was there were not Puerto Rican flags, but American flags all over the place. Now, you might say, well, it's because, it's a tourist spot, Rod. It's a tourist spot. Well, if it's tourist or not, it's not just Americans that are tourists there. Not just Americans. I mean, here you have, if you now we walked all over the place when we got to Puerto Rico. We had like a half a day to be there, but so whatever we could get, in under a half day, we walked around to a couple of different parks that that tourists don't go to. And we were, walking down neighborhood streets that tourists don't. I mean, tourists stick to the shops, right? To the market squares and things like that. But in obvious residential neighborhoods, American flag was flying. And it led me to believe that Puerto Ricans were more nationalistic towards America than many mainland Americans. I bet you there's probably not a single place in Puerto Rico where it's against the rules to fly the American flag. How many places, condos and condexes and apartment buildings say you can only fly the flag on Flag Day, Independence Day, Memorial Day, and that's it? And if you fly it any other time, they're going to send you a notice to remove the flag post haste, post with, or be evicted. Or have to pay a fine. Hey, this is ridiculous. But you go down there and everybody's, the apartment building, doesn't matter if it's an apartment building or if it's a townhouse or if it's a single family house or if it's a shop or if it's even the local barber shop or if it's, walking past. So we walked past the barber shop, looked in, and how do you know it's a barber shop? Because there was a man in there cutting people's hair. That's how you know it's a barber shop. And what else is it going to be? Oh, it's a makeup shop, I guess. There's just some things that are just that obvious. Not to a liberal, though. Not to a liberal. You can't. What is it? You can't label him. He might be a hairstylist, not a barber. What the? He's cutting people's hair. He's a barber. You can't. I mean, it's just ridiculous. But these people are I can understand why they may want to become, a full state because they're more patriotic than most mainland Americans. But the problem is that liberals wouldn't want Puerto Rico to become a state. Why? Because it would most likely, because most Puerto Ricans that I know are right of center. They don't buy into the notion of the left. Oh, no. They live that stuff down there in Puerto Rico, even though they don't want it. So it would be another red state if they were to add it to the Union. I don't think liberals can handle that.
Have you ever thought to yourself, I'm a leftist elite Hollywood a-hole? If so, good news. The Rod Eccles Hollywood Community College is now open, featuring such courses as unemployment is not paid vacation. No, Americans don't want to spend $19 for an order of French fries, and the ever popular shut the hell up. Why, just listen to this big-time celebrity endorsement.
I'm not Rosie O'Donnell, and I think this school's offensive, sexist, and racist.
And I think you're a giant a-hole who needs to shut the hell up. Hey, we teach a course in that. The Rod Eccles Hollywood Community College, where being an a-hole is not a guarantee you'll be an A student.
Thousands of families affected by disasters, like the recent wildfires, urgently need support. You can help the American Red Cross provide warm meals, shelter, and hope to families when they need it most. Please donate today to Red Cross Disaster Relief to help people affected by disasters, big and small. Go to redcross.org or call 1-800-RED-CROSS today. Your support is critical. We can't do it without you.
I'm just so happy my father had a chance to see his kids before he passed. I just want to say thank you.
When her father fell ill, the American Red Cross was able to help get Veronica's brother home from the Navy to speak to his father one last time. It's thanks to your donations that we can connect military families when they need it most. Please donate today at redcross.org.
Were you born from 1945 to 1965? People born during these years are 5 times more likely to have hepatitis C. So even if you try to eat right, exercise, and take care of yourself, you could still have hepatitis C, a serious disease that's a leading cause of liver cancer. If you were born from 1945 to 65, you should get a blood test for hepatitis C. Treatments can cure this disease. Talk to your doctor about getting tested. A message from the CDC.
Think fast. In the short time it takes to listen to this message, a small flame can turn into a big fire. Several minutes more, and thick, poisonous smoke may have filled your lungs and reduced your ability to respond. Give it 5, and your entire home may be filled with flames.
Keep breathing. We've got you.
Don't let your world go up in smoke. Have working smoke alarms and always stay in the kitchen when cooking at high temperatures. Learn more at usfa.fema.gov because fire is everyone's fight.
Have you mixed your pain meds, your sleep meds, your allergy meds? Call the Poison Helpline. Has your child eaten a tube of toothpaste, a chip of paint, a wild mushroom? Call the Poison Helpline. Have you been bitten by a spider, a snake, an insect? Call the Poison Helpline. Poisonings can happen at the home, on the job, or in the great outdoors. Call the Poison Helpline first for fast, free advice from medical professionals. Call 1-800-222-1222 anytime, anywhere. 1-800-222-1222. Save the number, save a life. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Premature birth is the #1 killer of babies. Those who survive often face birth defects and complications that affect them for life. For hundreds of thousands of families in the United States, this is the hardest thing they will ever have to face. And it's even harder on the baby. March of Dimes is providing education and support to families and funding life-saving research to give every baby a fighting chance. You can help. Do something today. Give them tomorrow at marchofdimes.org/tomorrow.
It's pretty amazing when you consider that 7 years ago, we didn't have the treatments we have now. We cure 80% of children with cancer. Go back 50 years, we were curing 20 to 30%. This is the miracle story of modern medicine. We understand what makes this cancer tick. And of course, without donors from around the world, this just couldn't happen. There's one thing we're focused on, and that's beating this thing.
St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Finding cures, saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
Not on my watch, our military service members say, as they volunteer to serve. As they move out, stand firm, and take fire. So not on our watch, we say, to the severely ill or injured veterans who can't get the care they deserve to live full and independent lives, even when there's no government funding or a nursing home seems like the only option. We won't leave one warrior behind. Not on our watch. Join us at findwwp.org.
Every day, the men and women of the United States Marine Corps demonstrate their commitment to defend the American way of life. Since 1775, we have served our nation as a force in readiness. From combat operations to humanitarian assistance in every corner of the world. No matter where the mission takes us today, or wherever our country needs us tomorrow, we always remember the land we call home. As Marines, we take a stand for each other, for our nation, for us all. The few, the proud, the Marines.
America's wounded warriors are coming home. After serving on foreign shores, these brave men and women are returning to their families and communities. Many have wounds you can see, and many have wounds you can't see, like post-traumatic stress disorder. Now that these warriors are back home, they are ready to enter the civilian workforce. To help, Wounded Warrior Project has developed the Warriors to Work program, a career counseling service that helps warriors translate their military experience to the civilian workplace. These extraordinary men and women bring proven world-class job skills and a unique perspective on teamwork to the job. And to ensure the right warrior finds the right job, Wounded Warrior Project works with employers to find just the right match. When you hire a wounded warrior, you hire an intelligent, talented, and committed new employee. Contact Wounded Warrior Project at findwwp.org. Welcome home the brave.
You want to know what time it is? It's time to bring the rain.
Zinc Media. Feel the power of knowledge.
Studio located somewhere within the great granite state of New Hampshire is Rod Eccles.
And welcome back. Hour number 2 here. Here it is, Tuesday, June number 13 in the year of our Lord 2017. Glad that you are on board and tuned in, especially all of you liberty lovers and ecclesiastites all around the globe. Thanks for being here. Call-in number this morning, 603-835-3226. Again, that's 603 in the 603. Here in do you know we have our own beer? Yeah, it's called 603 beer brewery. 603 beer. Yes. It's actually not. It's an ale. It's not bad. Actually, it's pretty good. And New Hampshire's got an awful lot of microbreweries. Did you know that New Hampshire, per capita? I'm not exact. Any way you look at it, New Hampshireites drink more beer per person than any other state in the union. Yeah, we're beer drunk here in New Hampshire. Now, and that's kind of weird because I'm not a huge beer fan, but we are. This state is, and we've got, at last count, there were some 32, at least 32 microbreweries. The breweries that, these wonderful breweries that just pop up and make beer. And in this state, they've even got alcohol licenses that spur the development of microbrewery. If you have a beer recipe that you want to try out, and you think that it's good enough to that people will buy it, come to New Hampshire because we have a very cheap liquor license and liquor producer's license for those people who want to be microbreweries to give it a shot. And it's all designed to help you encourage microbreweries to form and grow. I guess they want a drunkard state. I don't know. But we have a ton of microbreweries in this state, and more are opening up. And there's even something. What do they? There's the microbrewery, and then there's like the mini microbrewery. It's like literally, you could literally get a license and start brewing the beer or wine in your garage. I kid you not. And like this mini micro license it's a couple of $100 to get started, and that's it. Now you're limited to where you can sell it, but you're not able to produce a whole hell of a lot. But it gets you started. It allows you to test. And why aren't more states that more open to entrepreneurialism and to get people to get out there to start businesses and hire people? You got to start somewhere. No, they want to have all these rules and regulations and licensing and taxes and fees, and it's just ridiculous. You know what? For as little as $50 here in New Hampshire, $50 will get you a fully registered business. If you want to be an LLC or a corporation, just toss on another $50, or for $100, you're a corporation. I mean, it's that cheap here in New Hampshire. $50 will get you started. If you don't have $50, man, then you really need to do something to earn a little bit of money before you go into business for yourself. But $50 will get you as a partnership or a sole proprietorship type of business here in this state, and you're off and running. I mean, I hear people say, well, in other states it could be as much as $200 or more just to get a business name license. And then, of course, there are other fees on top of that. And no, not here in New Hampshire. $50, that's it. And then it doesn't even matter how big you are. And you could be a sole proprietor and have a $5 million business. It's still only going to cost you $50 annually. Isn't that amazing? I think it's amazing. Some people may not think it's amazing. I do. But I should not promote that because I don't. If you're not a conservative, don't come to New Hampshire. Don't move here. I don't want you here if you're not a conservative. Seriously. If you're not a conservative with an entrepreneurial spirit, don't come to New Hampshire. Go to Massachusetts. Stay down there. Screw them up. To stop screwing up my state. Here, over the break, I found the story that I was looking for, and it is here in my electronic version of the paper pile, although I thought I printed it out, but evidently I didn't because it's not here. But here it is in my digital paper pile. 2017, will it be the year of the trans candidate? From NBC News. Virginia native Danica Roem, R-O-E-M, is running for a seat in her state's House of Delegates. Should she emerge victorious from the June 13th today Democratic primary, the 32-year-old would challenge longtime Republican and incumbent Bob Marshall to represent Virginia's 13th district and become the first openly transgender representative in the chamber. Now, openly transgender? Are there a lot of how are you a closeted transgender? Well, I suppose you secretly have certain types of surgeries and you take the hormones and people don't know that you went from boy to girl or girl to boy, I guess. I don't know. You wear the wigs, cut your hair, whatever. But, it's really interesting. Yes, it can happen, but it is rare for a guy to dress up as a woman and look like a woman. It is much easier for a girl to dress up and look like not a man, but a boy. I've seen... I got in trouble once. It's partly why I don't go to malls. I got in trouble. Let me see if I can relay the story without it being too biased. Partly why I don't go to malls either. In a mall, and there were these two, I thought that they were boys. I thought they were boys. Thought they were teenage boys. And I was, this one lady I was with, she says, "Oh, look at them. Aren't they cute?" I said, "Yeah, those are two handsome little boys." And they heard us and they snapped, "We're not boys." In a girl's voice, "We're not boys. We're lesbians," is what they said. And without looking like I was inspecting them closer, upon closer inspection, yeah, they were girls. But, the lady friend I was with, she was just enamored. She just thought they were just so cute as boys. I said, yeah, they're handsome boys. Gotcha. And she's like, "No, they're just adorable. We're not boys." Okay. So I think it's easier for girls or women to look like boys, not necessarily men, than it is for men to look feminine. Yeah, I think it's just the way it naturally is. So it's very difficult for I can pick out. I mean, yeah, there have been a couple of times I've been fooled, and where where is this? Didn't they used to do that with the drag queen stuff? RuPaul's Drag Race, whatever it was. Who was there was one young Carmen. What was his name? Carmen something. But now I saw this Carmen in person. He actually came to when I was a bouncer at some nightclubs. He actually came to this one nightclub, and we're told that Carmen whatever is going to be here today or tonight performing, and you'll see him. Okay. Now I got to admit, Carmen fooled me, because Carmen came through in full regalia as a woman, in this gorgeous gown, and I think that's a pretty woman there walking through. And somebody said, "Okay, let's get Carmen to her dressing room." And I said, "That's Carmen?" Okay. Carmen had also gone through quite a bit of surgery in order to look like Carmen. Just saying. Well, it wasn't natural. It had a little bit of plastic surgery in the face and the body to make him look more like a her. But without that, I'm pretty sure I would have recognized Carmen as being a guy dressing up in girls' clothing. But irrespective of that, why is it a bad idea to encourage transgender people to run for public office? Well, because if it truly is a mental disorder, you're encouraging people with a mental disorder to be in charge of our government. I know we already have people that are that have mental disorders in the government already. Most liberals are mentally insane. I agree with you. But why add to it? Why add to it? And why is it that these people are getting endorsed by certain groups simply because they're transgender? Now we don't even care what their political or government philosophy is. They're just a transgendered woman or a transgendered man, so they're going to get our endorsement. Well, what if they're for communism? Or what if they're for if they're for all-out super conservatism, they'll probably get hammered and booed and thrown out and, disavowed as being a transgendered or what have you. But what if they're of something that you really don't believe in, but because they're transgender, you're going to support them and endorse them? So this is the case here with this person. A win in the general election would also make Danica Rome the third openly transgender state legislator to ever hold office in the U.S. and only one of only a few openly trans elected officials in the world. Now, evidently, we've already got a couple of TQ who are transgendered, who are no, that's not Ruth Gator Ginsburg is not a tranny. I know somebody accused them of this, but evidently, there are a couple of others who've actually been elected. Now, one is a guy. Not a guy. It's a girl named Logan Casey. But if you see the picture of Logan Casey, you know Logan Casey is a girl. Looks like a girl. Looks like a girl in guy's clothes. Sorry, Casey, you don't. Logan, you don't pass the test. Another one is by the name of Andrew Reynolds. Now, Andrew Reynolds looks like a guy. I'm not gonna lie, but Andrew Reynolds is a girl. Yeah, just saying. So it's a 1 for 2 there. But in any case, they were endorsed simply because they were trans. There is no reason a transgender person should feel disqualified from office because of who they are. Well, yeah, there is, because they're mentally deranged. Evidently, Rome is one of at least 20 transgender candidates currently running for public office across the USA, according to the LGBTQ Representation and Rights Initiative. I don't know what the hell that is, but they added the Q. I still don't know what queer. You can be a queer woman, but if you're a queer woman who's actually a guy, doesn't that make you transgendered? I don't know what the hell the difference between trans and queer is. So I'll admit it. If I don't know what it is, I can't get a real explanation of it. They explain it. So far, the explanation I've gotten just has me saying, well, that's trans. That's transgender. No, I'm not transgender. I'm queer. Well, I don't get the difference. You explained it to me, but it sounds like the definition for transgender. So I don't know. I can't get a straight answer. You know what, Rod? When it comes to explaining to you this LGBTQ stuff, the T and the Q, it's complicated.
You're listening to the Rod Eccles Show, the coolest, most politically incorrect, conservative black man on the planet.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
We've all heard of male enhancement, but now there's an expert on true male enhancement in the areas that really count. In Herb Ellis's book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, you'll find answers to questions like, why doesn't she want to have sex? A quick start, quick results workout guide, plus what you can do as a side hustle to make money now. With all the great tips in this book, every man can benefit. Get the book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, on Amazon.com.
It started with a knock, but it wouldn't end there. What happens in the story next, many wouldn't understand, and most wouldn't believe. 5 + 2 = Perfection by Samuel Rosette Jr. is a must-read. The scriptures within are reminders of the ancient past, and yet intriguingly infuses with texts which stand on the edge of the stage of relevancy. Available online at Westbow Press, Amazon, Books A Million, Barnes & Noble, and SamuelRosetteJr.com.
Hi, Gordon. What you been up to?
Big things, Fred. I'm a full-time student at bartending college.
Wow. I never had time for a formal education.
Well, I decided to make time, but it's not easy. Bartending college is a 4-week course.
Gee, how far along are you?
Well, let's see. This is Tuesday, the 3rd week. Hey, I'm a junior, and I'm late for a daiquiri lecture. Why don't you join me?
Why not?
Bartending college.
You've already spent enough time on the other side of the bar to qualify for enrollment.
Bartending college.
We'll teach you everything you need to know. You'll get a starter set of bartenders' jokes like...
So I says to the guy, you can stay, but the cow's gotta go.
Bartending college.
You'll learn how to roll drunks, water the liquor, and skim the cash register. And remember, as the bartender, you drink for free.
Last call.
For integrity.
The most politically incorrect black man in America. You're listening to The Rod Eccles Show.
Welcome back, 603-835-3226. Glad that you are here. This next story is kind of interesting because it comes out of Florida. It's going to make some liberals really mad. A Florida sheriff, yes, a Florida sheriff urges people to carry guns in war against terrorism and shooters. Oh, we don't have a war on terror here in the USA. We're not under attack. There aren't terrorists here. These are all domesticated, homegrown terrorists. Not from far away. You're going to start talking about refugees, and you're going to start having people shooting refugees for no reason. A Florida county sheriff, this is from the New York Daily News. A Florida county sheriff has said that he wants people to be armed at all times as part of a self-defense tactic in the war against terrorism. Now, Brevard County Sheriff Wayne Ivey posted a video to Facebook Wednesday. He put it on Facebook, urging citizens to be prepared for terrorist or active shooter attacks. And he said, folks, now more than ever is a time for our citizens to be prepared to serve as the first line of defense, not only for them, but for the families. This is what Ivey said in the video, which has received more than 100,000 views so far. The sheriff said attacks are happening locally and abroad. And he went on to say, this is war. And you better be prepared to wage war to protect you, your family, and those around you if you're attacked. Now, the sheriff's message comes after the London terror attacks, of course, and a workplace shooting in Orlando that killed 5 people. See, that wasn't a terrorist attack. Well, if those people were allowed to have guns, they could have shot back, and probably 5 people wouldn't have died, maybe only 1 or 2. Well, you still would have had a death. Well, I don't know about you, but the numbers speak loudly to me. Is 1 death better than 5? Now, I mean, they both suck, yes. But one is better than the other. Only 1 death versus 5 is better. And who knows, if people could shoot back, maybe the only death would have been the shooter himself. And none of the innocent people would have died. Would that have not been better? Well, not according to the liberal, because that means that would have been a death sentence. And you know, they don't do, once you're alive, they don't want to kill you. Liberals don't want to kill you, so that may not have been a good idea. Now, Ivey said, while 911 responds to the situation, it's up to you. It's up to you. Until the officers of the law get there, it's up to you. The sheriff even says it's up to you and those with you to neutralize or eliminate the threat. It's up to you. It's not up to, well, they can't be everywhere at once. This is what I tell people. You know, police officers, as good as a job as they may do, as good a cop as they may be, they may be the best cop, they may be super cop, they still can't be everywhere. It's still up to you. You know, you can't be a sitting duck. You can't allow yourself to be a sitting duck or a target. You got to be able to fight back. Otherwise, they can't. It's not I can't stress this enough. Police departments across the country, across the globe, are not designed to prevent crime. They're designed to intervene when a law is broken and bring the perpetrators to justice. So in other words, more than 95% of the time, a cop's job is to come in either during or after a crime is being committed or has been committed and figure it out. Less than 5% of the time are they actually there to prevent a crime. They're not a very big deterrent. As I have said before, a cop, sure, in that particular instance, as the cop is driving by in his cruiser, he prevents the crime. But as soon as a cop is out of sight and out of sound, what do people do? Go back to doing whatever they were doing. So you've got to be your first line of defense. The sheriff is telling you've got to be your first line of defense. And we have all these wonderful leftists out there saying how bad an idea that is. Well, I think if the left don't like it, then it must be a great idea. Call Rod now, 606-603-835-3226.
The Red Cross responds to nearly 66,000 disasters every year, most of them house fires. Red Cross President and CEO Gail McGovern says you need to develop an evacuation plan and practice it, especially with your children. It takes just 2 minutes for a home to be engulfed in flames.
Practice those drills. We all think our kids know what to do. They don't. We need to teach them. We have started a large campaign where we're going into vulnerable communities and helping install smoke alarms. Already 92 lives were saved, and 4 of those lives were saved by a 5-year-old girl who remembered what we taught them during these fire drills, and she got her family out. We also have a slew of free apps that people can download onto their smartphones. It's what to do in every kind of disaster you can imagine, how to prepare and how to recover.
To help support all the Red Cross does and to make a financial donation, go to redcross.org. That's redcross.org.
I'm just so happy my father had a chance to see his kids before he passed. I just want to say thank you.
When her father fell ill, the American Red Cross was able to help get Veronica's brother home from the Navy to speak to his father one last time. It's thanks to your donations that we can connect military families when they need it most. Please donate today at redcross.org.
It's Thursday night, and you're grabbing drinks with some friends. Started off with a pitcher for the table, which quickly becomes 2. There's pool. And there's the photo booth.
All right, everybody squeeze in. Say cheese!
Followed naturally by an order of wings. And another.
Can we get some extra ranch sauce?
Then there's the ceremonial nightcap.
So what are we doing this weekend?
And lastly, it's back to the car, which, if you're buzzed, could be the most expensive night of your life. Getting pulled over for buzzed driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzzed driving, because buzzed driving is drunk driving. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Every day, the men and women of the United States Marine Corps demonstrate their commitment to defend the American way of life. Since 1775, we have served our nation as a force in readiness. From combat operations to humanitarian assistance in every corner of the world. No matter where the mission takes us today, or wherever our country needs us tomorrow, we always remember the land we call home. As Marines, we take a stand for each other, for our nation, for us all. The few, the proud, the Marines.
I considered suicide so I wouldn't put my family through all the pain.
Many of our warriors are returning home from the battlefield, only to face a new war as they struggle with devastating injuries. At Wounded Warrior Project, we understand. We're there to help.
Even though you think you're broken, you're not. It's the physical and the emotional healing that Wounded Warrior Project provides.
With a gift of just $19 a month, you can join Wounded Warrior Project. You'll help provide critically needed programs and services that rebuild lives.
Beautiful. There you go, buddy.
The ongoing needs of our wounded and their families will continue for many years to come. Now is the time to show your support. Call now or go online with your gift of just $19 a month, and we'll send you this Wounded Warrior Project blanket.
It made me feel that there's people out there that care about us.
After this event, we can finally maybe start to heal as a family and move forward.
We need your help. The families are hurting.
For many of our wounded heroes, the greatest casualty is being forgotten. That's why your gift of just $19 a month is so important. Please, call or go online right now.
Welcome back as we keep on rolling through this morning, this Tuesday morning. Here's a story from Fast Company in their news section. New York Times vows to stand by theater despite Trump Julius Caesar controversy. Yes, New York's venerated theater organization, the Public Theater, is facing a PR disaster over its long-running free Shakespeare in the Park series. The organization is mounting a production of Julius Caesar, which ends with the Roman politician being assassinated. Many far-right online personas, including Donald Trump Jr., consider this to be offensive, given that Caesar appears Trump-like in the participation of this. Appears? Look, they're actually saying it's a depiction of Trump. This keeps on going with the whole notion, like Kathy Griffin. It is quite all right. Have you ever noticed that it is quite all right for liberals to depict the assassination of conservative or Republican presidents? That is fine. But if you ever even hint at the assassination of a Democratic president, the knives, the long knives come out and the sharp tongues come out, and they want to arrest you post haste. This is no different than with Barack Hussein Obama. Yeah, go ahead. Try to have an assassination, an artistic assassination of Barack Obama, and see what happens. So even today, you would not be able to get away with depicting the assassination of Barack Hussein Obama. They would want your head on a platter. They wouldn't even give you the opportunity to and the benefit to put it on a silver platter. They just throw your head on a wooden platter and call it a day. Hell, they just might even shove it in a bag or give it to Kathy Griffin. But this is not the only time. This is not the first time. How many times have we? And we're not even through 6 months of his presidency yet. How many times going through from the election to today have we seen a number of so-called artistic performances of the assassination and murdering of Donald J. Trump? It is unprecedented. I mean, you don't even look. You've got these people that are even calling, well, maybe Trump should be taken out. I admit I thought an awful lot about blowing up the White House. Do you people on the left realize something? No, they don't, because they do realize it. They just don't care. That Donald Trump won the election. That means people in this country voted for him. At least half the voting population voted for him. So this is not just an attack on him, it's an attack on everybody out there. I mean, sir, you can't keep doing this. This sort of thing is it's infuriating sometimes, for sure. Let's see, I think I have a call here. Let us go to the phones. You're live on the Rod Eccles Show. What you got? Hello. Hello, go ahead.
This is a company.
Well, I don't know who that is, so we'll get rid of that person. And we'll bring on CS. You're live on the Rod Eccles Show. What you got this morning?
Hey, Rod. This is CS.
Hi.
I know this isn't my day to call in. I know this is not my usual Wednesday spot. I just wanted to shed a different point of view about the entire Donald Trump version of Julius Caesar that's happening in New York, if I may.
Okay.
And that is, take it as a compliment. The president should take it as a compliment. Now, this is why. In Julius Caesar, Caesar was a threat to the Senate. The Senate did not want to give up power. The Senate were a bunch of fat cats that saying that they were doing this for the good of the people, when in all actuality, they were doing it for the good of the Senate. They had the power. They considered themselves to be Rome until Julius Caesar came along. And then Julius Caesar was told by the General Pompey, straight out, in order to be Rome, you must, A, do as the people say, and B, always keep your promise. Sounds very much like President Trump now. He does what he says he's going to do. He keeps his promise, and he always does it with the best interest of the people. And why was Julius Caesar assassinated? He was assassinated by the Senate because they did not want to relinquish their power. They did not want to give up what they had. They saw Julius Caesar as a threat. And that's not just a Shakespearean thing. That is an actual historical truth. It's not a fact. It is a truth. Facts are subject to change. A truth is eternal. And to me, portraying Julius Caesar as Donald Trump, to me, that is a compliment to the president, because he is doing the will of the people. He is doing what he is directed by the people.
That is a wonderful perspective, and I actually can agree with you on that. That would be seen. I've often said, if you got a bunch of leftists who want to depict you as being an assassination victim, then you must be doing something right. Because if you're pissing them off that much, you've got to be doing something right. And this was with the same with G.W. Bush. You know, I mean, there was a lot of stuff I disagreed with George W. Bush on, but they had depicted him in at least 2 movies as being assassinated simply because of his response to 9/11. And I got to tell you, it's if that's the case, then you're doing something right. At least something that is being done so right that they cannot allow you to continue because it's not good for their side. So yeah, they're going to.
I wholeheartedly.
Yeah, they're going to depict you as being
agree
assassinated.
with you on that. Exactly. But then, I mean, not to just depict you as being assassinated, but then to put you in the place of Julius Caesar. Because like I said, Julius Caesar, he said, Rome is the people, and I must do the will of Rome. In other words, the will of the people, which is what Donald Trump's been saying from the word go. Ever since he said, I want to run for president, I'm going to run for president. Now, the Senate, mind you, notice, there's a lot of similarities there. The Senate, the American Senate, fighting him tooth and nail on everything, as well as the Congress. So did the Senate of Rome. I mean, basically, he straight out, Julius Caesar straight out accused the Senate of not doing the will of the people, but doing the will of the Senate. They did what they want to do. And the Senate, who turns around and says, well, we can only give you limited soldiers. And Julius Caesar turned around and told them, this coming from men who've never sat on the back of a horse or never held a sword in their hand. Donald Trump's done the same thing to the Senate. He's called them out several times, just as Caesar did. So like I said, this is a compliment.
Well, no, if that's the case, then, if there is such a close correlation, should we not be worried about the safety of the current president?
Yeah, from the Senate. From the Senate. Because, mind you, the Senate... Now, there's a slight differences in this part. Physical assassination as opposed to another kind. Now, mind you, members of the Senate were the ones that assassinated Julius Caesar in the Ides of March. Now, mind you, the Senate here in this country of today, the Senate of today, They're trying to conduct a different kind of an assassination. It's called assassination of character. They're trying to tear him apart, break him down. They're trying to make him look ridiculous. They are trying to destroy his standing within the eyes of the people. That's a different kind of an assassination, but it's still a character assassination. So the similarities are yet there, still there. And there they are.
But unfortunately, it's not well. Fortunately for us, the American people, that doesn't seem to be working very well. Or is it? Are they wearing him down?
Not in
already?
my eyes.
No, I didn't.
No, I don't think so.
Personally, I think it's.
I don't think so.
I think it's just bolstering.
As long as he's got Twitter, they're not going to win. As long as he's got Twitter, they're not going to do it. They're not going to do it. All he's got to do is, with a couple of keystrokes, he makes them look completely ridiculous.
He's done it more than once already. That is absolutely true with his tweeting. And he's what is it? I don't even know how you pronounce it. He's got them so twisted that they're even still talking about his Kafefi. Kafefi, whatever, Covfefe. I mean, he's
Kafefi, yeah.
I mean, I'm sure it was just a typo, and he realized it was a typo. But it was just, even when he does something by mistake, he has them. They sound like total morons, as if none of them have ever had. I've never had a typo that they've.
They have nothing else.
I don't. Well, no, they don't. They really.
They
don't
have nothing else. Comey comes along and says, no, there's never been an investigation on the president when it comes to Russia. No, nobody's ever told me that I had to, or I'm going to, or interfered in my investigation on General Flynn or Russia. And the Democrats are just standing there going, huh? What? Ooh, wait a minute, what? And they're trying to find other things. It's to the point, it's gotten so ridiculous, it's to the point a woman is suing Donald Trump for blocking her tweets.
What? I missed that one, sorry. What?
No joke. The president decided, you know what, I'm tired of reading all this negative, insulting stuff, so this is what I'm going to do. You insult me, I'll block you. End of story. This woman feels that the president is infringing on her freedom of speech to insult him, so she has been blocked, so she is turning around and trying to sue the president of the United States for blocking her tweets. Well,
it doesn't prevent her from tweeting, does it? He just doesn't want to have to.
No, it doesn't.
He's got every right not to hear what she says. Just let me put this out there for you liberals that are listening, and I know some of you are listening because you guys. You say things that you can only say if you listen to this program. You have a right to express yourself. I have a right to turn you off. You don't have a right to be heard. You have a right to speak, not a right to be heard. I don't have to listen to a damn thing you say. But you have a right to say it. So go ahead and say it. I don't have to listen to you.
Rod, dude, what? You're so nice. You are such a nice guy. With me, the way I see it, you have the right to say what you wish, and I have the right to wipe my butt with it.
See, I'm not even going to take the time to do that. I'll just turn you off. Go about my business doing something else because it's not even worth my time to do that. And I'd rather pay the 50 cents a roll at Walmart for the toilet paper than to listen to some of these people. Tell you the truth, honestly. Or read some of the drivel that they have. It's not even worth my time reading it. So, but they have every right to express themselves. I'm going to defend that, but I have every right not to even pay attention to you or listen to you. Look, you don't listen.
Exactly.
They don't want to listen to me. In fact, by the way, folks, there is now. I saw somewhere. It was on. And I don't normally go. It's a social. Somebody sent me this. A social on this. Whatever the social. It's over on Ning. I didn't even know Ning was still a thing, but evidently there's a social platform on Ning that has it in for me. Because over on Ning, nobody goes to Ning. But evidently, so I got this, hey, Rod, have you seen this? No, I don't go to Ning, so no, I wouldn't see it. But there's already a call out there. I'm not even big yet, and somebody's already calling to shut me down because I'm a hate mongerer. I guess I'm up there with Sean Hannity now. Yeah, I'm a hate mongerer. Okay, there you go.
Yeah, next thing you know, they're going to say you're a racist. But you know what? I want to give now. If you have liberals listening, and I hope you do, I want to send out a warning, a very a cautionary tale, you might say. In all truth, Julius Caesar was assassinated by the Senate. And then Rome fell into chaos. And then out of the ashes rose Augustus Caesar, the nephew of Julius Caesar. And he wiped the slate clean. He cleaned house. He got rid of the trash. And then Rome started to prosper under his reign. So therefore, what I'm saying to these liberals, go ahead, try something stupid. Something might happen that you'll even dislike. You'll dislike even worse. So therefore, work with this man. Give him the opportunity to fulfill his promises, to protect the people, for the country to prosper, so that prosperity can overflow to the rest of the planet. Or do something stupid. Things will get real ugly then, because look who's right behind him as vice president. That's Mike Pence. And Mike Pence makes President Trump look like a flaming liberal. That man is so conservative. So go ahead. Try something stupid. You might end up regretting it. And with that, I will let you go. I will do my regular spot tomorrow at the regular time, Rod. You have a great day, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.
Talk to you tomorrow. And look, folks, good old Donald Trump is the man of the people right now. He really is. And he is fighting that swamp, which is the man, are the men and women of self. All they care about is themselves, not you or me. Yeah. All you got to do is, that's a unique perspective. Look at Donald Trump probably does take it as a compliment of everybody on the left wanting to assassinate it. It means that he's doing his job and that what he's doing is working.
I'm not Rod Eccles, and I approve this message.
You know, a couple of weeks ago, a long-haired young person came into our bank and said to me, "I bet you won't lend me money to buy an electric guitar." Well, he was making $100 a week, and he was over 18, and I said, "I bet you I will lend you money to buy an electric guitar." And I did. So what happens? The punk gets busted for possession of dangerous drugs, and we're out $350. There's one thing about kids nowadays. You don't have to give them credit.
Universal Bank. We trust you. About as far as we can throw you.
Give a man a fish and you feed him for a day. Sign him up for the Box of Bait Club and he'll never be hungry again. The Box of Bait Club is a brand new dream come true for every fisherman. Something new and different in your tackle box every month. Every month, another excuse to get outside and do what you love. Don't let this one get away. The Box of Bait Club is currently accepting a limited number of pre-orders with subscriptions starting at $39.95 per month. Find out more now. Log on to boxofbaitclub.com.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
We've all heard of male enhancement, but now there's an expert on true male enhancement in the areas that really count. In Herb Ellis's book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, you'll find answers to questions like, why doesn't she want to have sex? A quick start, quick results workout guide, plus what you can do as a side hustle to make money now. With all the great tips in this book, every man can benefit. Get the book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, on Amazon.com.
It started with a knock, but it wouldn't end there. What happens in the story next, many wouldn't understand, and most wouldn't believe. 5 + 2 = Perfection by Samuel Rosette Jr. is a must-read. The scriptures within are reminders of the ancient past, and yet intriguingly infuses with texts which stand on the edge of the stage of relevancy. Available online at Westbow Press, Amazon, Books A Million, Barnes & Noble, and SamuelRosetteJr.com.
Warning. Listening to the Rod Eccles Show by the Idiot Left may cause outrage, fear, a need for safety pins and/or spaces. If you experience any of these symptoms or are allergic to truth, tune in and learn something.
(603-835-3226). That is a number that you can utilize to call the program this morning. And do another. It's not as if they could actually. So Comey's not a liar, but Comey lied. No, Trump lied about Comey lying. Wait, I'm not sure I follow. Trump lied about Comey lying? Well, yeah, it is what it is.
The following program is recommended for mature individuals and may contain material unsuitable for morons, cretins, and dishwipes. If you are a moron or a member of the PTL Club, please turn off your radio, because we don't need any more stupid, narrow-minded, pencil-neck geeks who wouldn't know the First Amendment if it came up and bit them on the butt. Thank you.
When I found out I had atrial fibrillation, a serious but highly treatable heart condition, first thing I thought of was, who would take care of my wife and children if anything were to happen to me? My doctor recommended Pravactin. I had a lot of questions, so I did some research. It turns out Pravactin is the #1 recommended drug for Crohn's disease. I think my doctor's trying to kill me and steal my wife.
Doctors. They'll stop at nothing to get your wife.
The Red Cross responds to nearly 66,000 disasters every year, most of them house fires. Red Cross President and CEO Gail McGovern says you need to develop an evacuation plan and practice it, especially with your children. It takes just 2 minutes for a home to be engulfed in flames.
Practice those drills. We all think our kids know what to do. They don't. We need to teach them. We have started a large campaign where we're going into vulnerable communities and helping install smoke alarms. Already 92 lives were saved, and 4 of those lives were saved by a 5-year-old girl who remembered what we taught them during these fire drills, and she got her family out. We also have a slew of free apps that people can download onto their smartphones. It's what to do in every kind of disaster you can imagine, how to prepare and how to recover.
To help support all the Red Cross does and to make a financial donation, go to redcross.org. That's redcross.org.
See that cute little dog in the pet store window? Chances are it came from a puppy mill. A breeding facility that forces caged, neglected, and often sick dogs to churn out puppy after puppy to be sold for profit. Meanwhile, millions of wonderful, healthy pets end up in animal shelters. This leads to the killing of more than 9,000 by the end of today. But with one simple choice, you can help. Just by deciding to adopt instead of purchase your next pet. Animal shelters are full of amazing pets looking for a home. When you adopt your new best friend, not only are you saving a life, you're taking a stand against puppy mills. When your friends see the smart choice and impact you've made, they adopt their next pet and share with 5 of their friends, who share with 5 more. Before long, thousands get involved. Pet stores stop selling dogs from puppy mills, and even more lives are saved. And with your help, we can save them all. Visit bestfriends.org/puppymills to learn more.
Every day, the men and women of the United States Marine Corps demonstrate their commitment to defend the American way of life. Since 1775, we have served our nation as a force in readiness.
Get some rear security.
From combat operations to humanitarian assistance in every corner of the world. No matter where the mission takes us today, or wherever our country needs us tomorrow, we always remember the land we call home. As Marines, we take a stand for each other, for our nation, for us all. The few, the proud, the Marines.
The human voice. It can be sweet as music, powerful as thunder,
And so, my fellow Americans,
cheerful as laughter. But for millions of people, it can also be a sign of COPD. This serious lung disease can make it so hard to breathe, you often can't catch a breath or finish a sentence, let alone carry a tune. And many who have COPD don't even know it. That's where your voice comes in. If you think you or a loved one have symptoms, talk with a healthcare provider. Early diagnosis can mean better treatments and quality of life. Join us in raising our voices for the millions with COPD who can't. Learn more, breathe better at NIH.gov.
As a mother, you don't want to have to worry about this bill is coming, but then she needs this chemo. That's a decision you shouldn't have to make.
It's a huge burden lifted financially, and so it allows you to give singular focus to your child. I've never known a hospital that takes care of their patients so thoroughly.
That was the first thing I was like, how are we going to do this? When they told us that we didn't have to pay a single bill, I was like, wow. They pretty much have saved us.
It's like the world has been lifted off of your shoulders, and now your focus is supporting this child.
There is not another hospital like St. Jude. The patient care is unmatchable. It saved my life. It saved my daughter's life. It saved our family.
St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Finding cures, saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
On the battlefield, there's a saying America's military men and women live by. Never leave a fallen warrior behind. Ever. Off the battlefield, Wounded Warrior Project operates with the same goal. We leave no warrior behind. Wounded Warrior Project is a non-profit organization created to help our men and women returning home with the scars of war. Whether those scars are physical or mental, we're here to make sure that they heal. And whether it's helping those with post-traumatic stress disorder live a normal life again, or giving much-needed support to injured warriors in veterans' hospitals. Because no one deserves our help more than the men and women who risk their lives to keep us safe. Wounded Warrior Project. We never leave a fallen warrior behind. Ever. Learn more about what we do at woundedwarriorproject.org.
You want to know what time it is? It's time to bring the rain.
Zinc Media. Feel the power of knowledge.
Studio located somewhere within the great granite state of New Hampshire is Rod Eccles.
Yes, indeed, here I am. I am back. Hour number 3 here on the Rod Eccles Show. The fastest 3 hours in Internet Talk Radio is right here. Glad you are here on this Tuesday, June number 13 in the year of our Lord 2017. The call-in number this morning for all of you liberty lovers, ecclesiastites, and others is 603-835-3226. Again, glad that you're here. I am, this is one of those, this is a Tuesday. So it's one of those lull days for me. Not that I'm down, because I'm not down. I actually went swimming yesterday. Yeah, for the first time this year, I went swimming. Just a river here near Concord. Didn't go to the ocean. Didn't go to the beach. A swimming spot on a river, local spot. Everybody, people who are local know the spot well. It was rather crowded there, but the water was cold because it's a river coming from the north. Melting snow still. It was cold. It was refreshing though because it was so damn hot yesterday, which I liked. Actually, the temperature, I think, got up to 95, but the real feel was 93 because there was very little humidity in the air, which is nice. It's nice when it's hot and it's not humid. But don't start telling me, well, that's the way it's like in Arizona, Rod. It's 120 degrees out there, but it's dry heat. Let me tell you something. 120 degrees, 100-degree weather is hot, even with no humidity. Today it's supposed to be almost as warm. It's supposed to be above 90, like 92 or something. And then we get into the low 70s and 60s for the next couple. What the hell is that? You don't go from 90 plus in 2 days down to low 70s, 60s for a day or two. I mean, that's Mother Nature is insane right now. Absolutely insane. But in any case, I'd rather have the hot weather because it's summertime. I know it's not officially, it's still spring, but I'd rather have hot weather like this. Summertime. Enjoy summertime. Gotta be. It sucks when it's always raining or it's cool, and you can't get out there and enjoy summer because you're sheltered all winter long and holed up. You can't do anything. Well, at least up here in the north, if you have a lot, nobody goes out. Sure, you get a few people who venture out to do snowmobiling or snowshoeing or skiing or snowboarding, what have you, but those are isolated places. You don't get to experience America. when there's 10 feet of snow on the ground. Sorry, you just don't. You don't. Which reminds me, I saw somebody, their car had a sticker on it. They had 2 stickers from Scotland. The best country on earth is Scotland. The land of Scotland. Well, I wouldn't agree with that. Actually, I've never been to Scotland. Actually, somebody's trying to convince me to go with them to Scotland soon. Like, well, I don't know if I got time for that, but I'd love to. Love to visit the Highlands to see where Duncan MacLeod of the Clan MacLeod is from. And for those of you who don't know, it's from Highlander, the TV show and movie Highlander. All the different movie incarnations of it. I happen to like Duncan MacLeod. Anybody watch Highlander? It was a 90s thing. Back in the 90s. A huge syndicated show. And was it Adrian Paul played Duncan MacLeod. Haven't seen much from him lately. But yeah, he was Duncan MacLeod of the Clan MacLeod. And like many people like him, he was kind of short, I guess. He wasn't very... He kind of looked tall and big on TV, but I guess he really wasn't all that tall. Any case, but I liked Highlander. I don't own any of the videos of them, by the way. People in the chat room, well, somebody in the chat room agrees. Adrian Paul, he was hot. Well, I don't know about that. I mean, yeah, I guess he was a good-looking guy, but you know, I guess he wasn't a bad look. Well, everybody thought he was a hottie. So, but anyway, he wasn't like 6'2" or something like that. He was under 6 foot tall. So, by today's standards, is that short? I suppose. I guess. I'm not 6 foot. I'm 5'9". I'm kind of short. I mean, there are kids in middle school that are taller than I am. And it's not, well, it's, I don't know how, well, there's also kids in middle school that weigh more than I do. I saw a few of those kids at the river yesterday. I'm like, bam! You need to put your kid on a diet. And it's not the kid's fault, it's the parents' fault when it comes to that. You don't let your kid eat anything he wants and then let him plop down in front of the TV and play video games all day. Make him get outside and get some exercise. Seriously. There was somebody in Massachusetts that did want to. If your kid was obese, it was a form of child abuse. They want it to be child abuse if your kids are obese. So in other words, if you try to make your kid happy and let your kid eat it whatever they want, whenever they want, that's child abuse. I thought it was supposed to make, you're supposed to let your kid do whatever they want. Right? But anyway. Chris from the chat room says, looks are not the only thing that contributes to one's hotness. Well, personally, I don't know anything personally about Adrian Paul. The only thing I know of, he's been in a few movies, low-budget movies, but the only thing I know him from is from Highlander. I think he's been a lot more than Highlander, but but I don't know what he's like in person. I wouldn't mind meeting him in person. I suppose he's kind of he's kind of older now, isn't he? God, he's got to be like 50 or 60 years old now. Which is probably why he stopped doing the TV series highly, because, Duncan MacLeod wasn't supposed to age, yet he was getting older. But anyway. Yeah, okay. Sure. But this isn't the day for Hollywood access. Back to the real stuff. AP has got the story. Islamic State calls for Ramadan attacks in U.S. and Europe. Maybe this is why the sheriff in Florida is calling for all legal citizens, law-abiding citizens, to carry. The Islamic State group is calling on supporters to carry out attacks in the United States and Europe during the Muslim holy month of Ramadan. That began just 2 weeks ago. In an audio tape that was circulated online Monday, spokesman Abdu al-Hassan al-Mahajar praised last week's attacks in Iran's capital, saying the country is weaker than a spider's web and calling for more assaults. In Iran? They're getting a nuclear bomb. How much more? How weak is that? Al-Mahajar also called for attacks in Russia and Australia, saying heaven is reached under the shadow of swords. Heaven is reached under the shadow of swords. Folks, let me repeat that again. They are saying heaven is reached under the shadow of swords. In other words, attack your the only way to reach heaven is to attack and kill your enemy. Not try to convert them, but just attack and kill them. So, I mean, now there's no place that's safe. If you have them calling for attacks in Iran now, I don't know how Iran is going to spin this one off. It is Saudi Arabia who is calling for attacks inside Iran. Well, now you've got a well-known spokesman for ISIS, Abu al-Hassan al-Mahajar, is now personally calling for attacks. And how is Iran going to get around that? Now, I was suspecting, along with some people who told me that it was an inside, I still think it's an inside job, that maybe Iran is actually asking for some of these attacks to take the onus off of them. So they can say, see, we need nuclear weapons to protect ourselves. And blaming Saudi Arabia for this. But this is just one of those things, folks, that you got to understand that these people just want your death. If you do not convert to Islam, their version of Islam, then they're calling openly for your death. Now, trust me, it doesn't mean that there is a peaceful sect to Islam. There isn't any, because they're not standing. The only time they stand up against radical Islamists and terrorist attacks is when, like in England, they get either you stand up against it or you get shut down. So what are you going to do? You know, you're going to stand up against it because the good book your good book tells you to lie to the infidel. It is quite okay to lie to the infidel. So lie to them. Tell them that you'll condemn all of this, but the reality is that you'll still continue to support financially and with other means anybody who wants to become radicalized, quote unquote, and do the bidding and work of Allah. You want to blow yourself up? Then we should help. And that's the story. That's the truth. That's the reality. These people are not going to let up anytime soon simply because we want them to. We're letting them in everywhere. We're letting them set up shop, via mosque. We're letting them spread their radical hate message everywhere. And then we want to complain that, people like social media outlets like Facebook isn't shutting down this radicalism. I tell you how you shut down radicalism. First of all, you don't let them into your country willy-nilly. And then you go over to their country and you bomb the hell out of them. But that would kill the innocent men and children and women. No, there's no innocence over there. Okay, maybe the kids to a certain point, but as soon as you start putting guns in kids' heads and machetes and knives in kids' heads and teaching that kid how to behead their enemy, they're no longer innocent. Sorry. They've been radicalized. They're going to grow up to hate America and its allies and try to commit atrocities. Look, they don't seem to care that they die So why would we care not to give them their wish? And think about that for a second. These people want to fulfill their destiny so they can go off to heaven in Allah land, and we want to prevent them from doing it? Look, they're asking for it. They want it. You might as well give them what they want, right?
Yes, love hurts. It can hurt emotionally, but more important, it can also hurt you physically. It can hurt you in a way which nobody who owns a hot tub and lives in California can afford to be unaware of. Yes, I'm talking about California hot tub rectal gonorrhea. This painful, incurable disease can make an enjoyable soak in a hot tub with family, friends, and dog into a literally unforgettable experience. If you catch California hot tub rectal gonorrhea, not only will you walk around feeling like you're about to pass a twisted sardine can lid, you'll also smell like a pile of burning tractor tires. So don't jump out of the frying pan and into the hot tub, because if you get California hot tub rectal gonorrhea, it'll really burn your ass.
This has been a public service message brought to you by the Citizens Against CHTRG Foundation. California hot tub rectal gonorrhea. We're not going to take it sitting down.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
It started with a knock, but it wouldn't end there. What happens in the story next, many wouldn't understand, and most wouldn't believe. 5 + 2 = Perfection by Samuel Rosette Jr. is a must-read. The scriptures within are reminders of the ancient past, and yet intriguingly infuses with texts which stand on the edge of the stage of relevancy. Available online at Westbow Press, Amazon, Books A Million, Barnes & Noble, and SamuelRosetteJr.com.
We've all heard of male enhancement, but now there's an expert on true male enhancement in the areas that really count. In Herb Ellis's book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, you'll find answers to questions like, why doesn't she want to have sex? A quick start, quick results workout guide, plus what you can do as a side hustle to make money now. With all the great tips in this book, every man can benefit. Get the book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, on Amazon.com.
603-835-3226. Oh, what is it? It sounds like a piccolo, maybe? Playing that flute? I don't know. Piccolo. What's the difference between a piccolo and a flute? I mean, as far as sound is concerned. Sound pretty much the same, don't they? I'm not a piccolo, or what do they call a piccolo? Well, a person who plays the flute is a flautist. What are they? I know that's weird. It's a flute, but you're a flautist if you play the flute. What are you called if you play the piccolo? I don't know. Is the piccolo even really an instrument? I mean, for some reason, it just doesn't seem like it is. In any case, Rolling Stone. This is from the Daily Caller. Rolling Stone settles with University of Virginia fraternity over that rape hoax article. Yeah, you guys remember that? Rolling Stone has settled a lawsuit with the University of Virginia fraternity whose members were falsely accused of raping a female student back in November of 2014. A source involved at the national level with the fraternity Phi Kappa Psi, it tells the Daily Caller that Rolling Stone will pay $1.65 million to settle the defamation suit. The magazine's decision follows a settlement in April with Nicole Aramo, a University of Virginia associate dean, who was also smeared in the article, which was written by Sabrina Rubin Erdely. It's Erdely. In the piece, a rape on campus, Erdely relayed the story of Jackie Coakley, a Virginia woman who claimed she was brutally raped by a group of Phi Kappa Psi fraternity members during a party back in September of 2012. Now, Erdely portrayed Aramo as dismissive of Coakley's case, but it was later revealed that Coakley not only fabricated the attack by the fraternity members, but that Aramo took her allegations seriously at the time she made them. A jury in Virginia awarded Aramo $3 million in damages, $2 million from Erdely and $1 million from Rolling Stone. Rolling Stone is rolling away. Are they still publishing? Rolling Stone still? I don't know. I don't particularly care. I don't read Rolling Stone magazine, so I don't particularly care. But it is what it is. So look, people just can't make up these stories like this. And this is also the reason why so-called journalists have to definitely make sure that their sources are credible. A journalist doesn't have an obligation to just run out there and publish anything that a source says. A source isn't supposed to be the end-all, be-all, last word of anything. They're just supposed to be your starting point. So if a source gives you some information, you're supposed to follow the trail, the information trail. Confirm that source. Confirm that data. Confirm that information. Not just run with it, as so many times the left has done, especially when it comes to Donald Trump. They're just going to, there's a new story against Donald Trump here. Let's run with it. Is it confirmed? No, but that's okay. It's Donald Trump, so it has to be true. But this is what we get. This is the type of yellow journalism, as it's called. And I think they call it yellow journalism because you use a newspaper to line your pets' beds and cages so they can piss on it. Is that the reason why they call it yellow journalism? I don't know where that term came from. But again, it was something that the writer of the piece back then, she didn't care to find out the actual facts and truth, because if she had just bothered to ask the questions, she would have gotten some answers that she probably wouldn't have liked. But that must have been it. She wasn't going to like the answers. But the answers didn't matter because those boys were guilty. Because as we all know, people do not lie about being raped. Ever. Never in the history of mankind has a woman ever lied about being raped. Now, I'm not trying to be facetious about this. I'm just being factual. Yeah, it's probably going to get me in trouble, but so what? I like trouble. Bring it. Bring on the trouble, folks. Just because you want something to be true doesn't make it true. We've learned that with following Donald Trump now. They want a lot of negative stuff to be true about Donald Trump, but it turns out that it's not. Donald Trump's under investigation. Well, truth is, no, he's not. Donald Trump committed, he should be impeached for what? He didn't commit an offense to be impeached. Well, we want him to. Well, I don't care what you want. I want George Washington to come back to life, but that ain't going to happen now, is it? Nope, it's not. So just because you want something doesn't make it true.
The Red Cross responds to nearly 66,000 disasters every year, most of them house fires. Red Cross President and CEO Gail McGovern says you need to develop an evacuation plan and practice it, especially with your children. It takes just 2 minutes for a home to be engulfed in flames.
Practice those drills. We all think our kids know what to do. They don't. We need to teach them. We have started a large campaign where we're going into vulnerable communities and helping install smoke alarms. Already 92 lives were saved, and 4 of those lives were saved by a 5-year-old girl who remembered what we taught them during these fire drills, and she got her family out. We also have a slew of free apps that people can download onto their smartphones. It's what to do in every kind of disaster you can imagine, how to prepare and how to recover.
To help support all the Red Cross does and to make a financial donation, go to redcross.org. That's redcross.org.
I'm just so happy my father had a chance to see his kids before he passed. I just want to say thank you.
When her father fell ill, the American Red Cross was able to help get Veronica's brother home from the Navy to speak to his father one last time. It's thanks to your donations that we can connect military families when they need it most. Please donate today at redcross.org.
It's Thursday night, and you're grabbing drinks with some friends. Started off with a pitcher for the table, which quickly becomes 2. There's pool. And there's the photo booth.
All right, everybody squeeze in. Say cheese!
Followed naturally by an order of wings. And another.
Can we get some extra ranch sauce?
Then there's the ceremonial nightcap.
So what are we doing this weekend?
And lastly, it's back to the car, which, if you're buzzed, could be the most expensive night of your life. Getting pulled over for buzzed driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzzed driving, because buzzed driving is drunk driving. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Every day, the men and women of the United States Marine Corps demonstrate their commitment to defend the American way of life. Since 1775, we have served our nation as a force in readiness.
Get some rear security.
From combat operations to humanitarian assistance in every corner of the world. No matter where the mission takes us today, or wherever our country needs us tomorrow, we always remember the land we call home. As Marines, we take a stand for each other, for our nation, for us all, the few, the proud, the Marines.
I considered suicide so I wouldn't put my family through all the pain.
Many of our warriors are returning home from the battlefield, only to face a new war as they struggle with devastating injuries. At Wounded Warrior Project, we understand. We're there to help.
Even though you think you're broken, you're not. It's the physical and the emotional healing that Wounded Warrior Project provides.
With a gift of just $19 a month, you can join Wounded Warrior Project. You'll help provide critically needed programs and services that rebuild lives.
Beautiful. There you go, buddy.
The ongoing needs of our wounded and their families will continue for many years to come. Now is the time to show your support. Call now or go online with your gift of just $19 a month, and we'll send you this Wounded Warrior Project blanket.
It made me feel that there's people out there that care about us.
After this event, we can finally maybe start to heal as a family and move forward.
We need your help. The families are hurting.
For many of our wounded heroes, the greatest casualty is being forgotten. That's why your gift of just $19 a month is so important. Please, call or go online right now.
This is Free America broadcasting on the Rod Eccles Show with a message to all patriots trapped behind the lines in California, New York, Boston, and Chicago. Don't give up, true lovers of America. Even as we speak, moves are being made to drive the invaders back to the land from which they came. Defeat the would-be dictators and lift the chains of tyranny from around your neck. Stay strong. Stay brave. You're not forgotten, and you're not alone. Until next time, patriots, this is Free America signing out.
Bring the rain.
Welcome back. As we start to wind down the busy broadcast morning here on the Rod Eccles Show, we head over to Hollywood and another Daily Caller article about Roseanne. Yeah, ABC is rebooting Roseanne to tackle Trump-era issues after canceling Tim Allen's Last Man Standing, another show that was sympathetic to Trump voters. Now, if you don't think that Roseanne is not going to be sympathetic to Trump, understand that she actually endorsed Trump for president, and she went after Kathy Griffin for her little beheading stunt. So comedian Roseanne Barr supported Trump in 2016 election, telling The Hollywood Reporter last summer that we would be so lucky if Trump won. Now, according to ABC executives, viewers should expect her new show to talk about current issues, but ABC Entertainment President Channing Dungey isn't sure whether Barr will mention the president by name. He said, "I don't know whether Roseanne will speak about Trump by name," she said, "but she's going to speak very honestly." We're going to be tackling some of the topics that are on the conversation today. I'll leave it at that, she said, explaining that her network has felt a push to appeal to more Trump voters. Well, yeah, after canceling Last Man Standing, still pretty high in the ratings, winning its time slot. So, look, they're going to try to twist Roseanne Barr's arm. Roseanne, do what we want you to do. You're going to have to turn against Trump and just bash him at every chance you get. Don't be like Tim Allen. The show is being added to the network despite the cancellation of Allen's Last Man Standing. Many allege the decision to cancel the show, Allen's show, was politically motivated, most likely spurred by Allen's support of President Trump. The actor himself was stunned by the cancellation, as well as he should have been, considering it was, a long-running, well-established, well-liked program. I loved it. I still laughed out loud, literally laughed. There aren't many situation comedies on TV where I actually laugh out loud. I don't find most sitcoms on TV very funny. Allen's was. I actually laughed out loud. There are episodes where it was one continuous laugh. I couldn't stop laughing. And even if you are, it's more than just Trump, for crying out loud. He was, I guess you could say that Allen's character was anti-Obama, but big freaking hairy deal. That stuff was funny. As they say, that stuff was funny, yo. It'd be funny. I should try to gyp some of the stuff that Tim Allen has said on his show and play it for you, because some of it's hilarious. And of course, they had the very the representative of the liberal left in Ryan the son-in-law, and, of course, the wonderful daughter, Kristen, who was the go-between, the moderator between the two. Mike Baxter, the consummate conservative. Low taxes, small government, big trucks, and big guns. That's what he was into. For outdoor man. And you would think that, owning... Well, it's an outdoor sportsman's store, much like, Corbella's and Bass shops. Anybody familiar with those? So that is what outdoor man was. If I was going to be in retail, I would do that. Outdoor sport, LL Bean all the way. Now, this is not an endorsement for LL Bean, although they do have good products. I do have a couple of items for LL Bean. They're in my camping gear, but if you ever go to Freeport, Maine, where the headquarters is, it's fantastic. And LL Bean is also, it's in Maine, but it's the leadership of LL Bean tends to be rather conservative because they're into outdoorsmen and outdoor activities and going camping and hunting and fishing and all that kind of stuff. And LL Bean realizes that liberals oftentimes want to shut that kind of stuff down. Well, that's their business, is outdoorsy stuff. And like I said, it's good quality stuff. I mean, it's not cheap. Most of it is not cheap, but it will last you. You should only have to, you shouldn't have to buy more than one or two of those types of items in a lifetime. Really. I mean, that's how good this stuff is. I mean, but if you're rough on stuff and you do it a lot, then you may have to replace it more often, but still. One thing I learned about good shoes, too, same thing. I have a pair of shoes that is, they're just now starting to fall apart. But they're 11 years old. Now, I paid $120. Well, I didn't actually pay $120 for them. The original price was $120. I'd won a gift certificate of $100. So I paid $20 for these shoes out of my own pocket. And they were from Eastern Mountain Sports. And wore these shoes not just once in a while. I mean, these shoes were worn a lot. They were kind of like a cross between a work boot and a hiking boot. $120, 11 years later, and now the heel is starting, because the heel is rubber, the heel is worn down where it's starting to fall apart and fall off, so shoes are going to go bye-bye because you can't resole those types of shoes. I would if I could, but you can't. So good quality. I mean, sometimes you got to pay up front for this stuff, but in the long run, it's cheaper, right? So you got. Well, Eastern Mountain Sports is another outdoorsy type of place, but they're a little bit more liberalistic. They're kind of idiotic over there, and it almost Eastern Mountain Sports got into trouble with their overly liberalistic views of the outdoors and how to participate, and they almost went under. So maybe they learned their lesson. But understand, Eastern Mountain Sports is not LL Bean, not even close. But there are people. Well, no, you cannot. You can't buy guns at Eastern Mountain Sports. They don't have them. Most LL Bean stores don't. I think you can buy guns in the Fremont stores, one of the Fremont stores, but you can't buy them in most of the others. And I don't think you can buy them online either. LL Bean. But it is kind of funny that they would want to cancel Tim Allen's show, who obviously, has on the show expressed some support for Donald Trump, just to hire another sitcom comedian who actually endorsed Trump. openly. That's kind of weird. Are they They're trying. Look, folks, they're trying to save their collective asses over at ABC. Oh, we canceled it. They're gonna hate us. We're gonna need to replace him. So who can we get? Oh, I know. We can get Roseanne Barr because she liked Trump in the beginning. She still likes Trump. I think Roseanne Barr should move. Where are they, in Ohio? Is that where? I don't know where Rose. What was or is it Indiana? What was the town that they lived? What state were they in? In any case, it wasn't in Colorado, where Tim Allen's show is. Roseanne should go to Colorado and visit the store Outdoor Man a lot. Did anybody watch the last season of Roseanne? She won the lottery, but was that a dream? Was Dan really dead? I don't know. I don't remember. I didn't watch like the last 2 seasons or so of Roseanne, and I just got tired of it. And it got a little crazy and kooky. I know that one season she Michigan. Thank you. Well, Tim Allen is from the Detroit area originally. But they should move to Colorado. But I don't know. Did she was the lottery she won millions of dollars in the lottery? Was it a dream? I don't know. Anyway, if that's where they're going to pick up from, then good luck to them on that. But Roseanne Barr is a Trump supporter. She took on Kathy Griffin. Now, let's face it. When it comes to comedians or comedians, Roseanne by far had a much bigger career than Kathy Griffin. Just saying. If you're going to compare apples to apples, Roseanne Barr had a much bigger, more successful career than Kathy Griffin. And Roseanne Barr is worth so much more money right now than Kathy Griffin. So I don't know, maybe Roseanne is being a bully to Kathy Griffin. Who knows? I'm not saying it, but obviously somebody else might be saying it. Okay, yeah, sure, I'm saying it. Roseanne Barr is funnier and bigger than Kathy Griffin. Now, staying with women. Now, here is something I've never heard of this site before. It's called women.com.au. And women is spelled just like it sounds. Women. Not woman. Women. WHIMN. WHIMN.com.au. Women. Tagline, with her in mind. How come Trump writes Gavefi and he gets taken to task for it, where you get this blog site evidently, which is called Women, WHIMN, and nobody takes him to task. Anyway, could phubbing be secretly ruining your relationship? Phubbing, yes. PHUBBING. Again, something I didn't know was a thing or even a word, but evidently it is. Phubbing. New research suggests this pernicious problem is wreaking emotional havoc. Do you spend more quality time with your phone than you do with your partner? Are you compulsively checking for notifications and endlessly scrolling through your social media feeds while in the presence of your significant other? If this sounds like you may be one of millions of people experiencing what is a relatively new psychological condition known as phubbing that. According to influential new research, may be slowly eroding your relationship with your partner. Phubbing. PHUBBING. Kind of like, fat, pretty hot and tempting, PHAT. Well, this is phubbing. Now, phubbing is a portmanteau of phone and snubbing. So you're phone snubbing your partner if you're constantly checking what's on your feed. or in your if somebody's constantly texting. Well, I guess if you want to compete with your fubber. Yeah. Why does when I say fubbing, why does that in fubber? Why do I think of a little green glob from flubber? But if you want to compete with your fubber, just text them, right? Go with the flow.
What if I told you that you could lose weight simply by drinking coffee? Change your coffee, change your life. Our gourmet estate-grown coffee is infused with powerful herbs that help you melt fat and keep you from feeling hungry for 6+ hours. Get results or your money back. Order yours today at skinnycoffeeshop.com. That's skinnycoffeeshop.com. Tea and water also available. skinnycoffeeshop.com.
Have a legal problem and need some serious legal advice? Then you're listening to the wrong podcast.
Any facts we say here are probably wrong, and any analysis of the law should not be followed.
There you go. Reasonable Men are here to take a twisted look at the law.
Stack your hair right.
Learn in hand. Best name in law school.
Check us out on iTunes, reasonablemen.com, or on your favorite podcast app.
Reasonable Men are back.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
We've all heard of male enhancement, but now there's an expert on true male enhancement in the areas that really count. In Herb Ellis's book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, you'll find answers to questions like, why doesn't she want to have sex? A quick start, quick results workout guide, plus what you can do as a side hustle to make money now. With all the great tips in this book, every man can benefit. Get the book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, on Amazon.com.
It started with a knock, but it wouldn't end there. What happens in the story next, many wouldn't understand, and most wouldn't believe. 5 + 2 = Perfection by Samuel Rosette Jr. is a must-read. The scriptures within are reminders of the ancient past, and yet intriguingly infuses with texts which stand on the edge of the stage of relevancy. Available online at Westbow Press, Amazon, Books A Million, Barnes & Noble, and SamuelRosetteJr.com.
Yes, and we will end this morning's session here on the Rod Eccles Show with this notice, I should say. Is it a notice? Not really a notice, but yeah, it is a notice. This comes from BT.com. Tech firms may face new legal liability as British Prime Minister and French President Macron target extreme content. Yeah, now May has been a fierce, staunch opponent of extremist content on the internet being used to foment hatred and bring about and recruit terrorists and criminals. So Theresa May and French President Macron want to ensure that the internet is not used as a safe space for terrorists and criminals. So the people that end up being attacked and hauled into court and sent to jail are regular innocent people who, by the way, of late have been talking about the extremities of Islam and being anti-Islamic. So the anti-Islam are being locked up in Great Britain right now for extreme hatred towards towards Islam for a good reason. They're the ones running around killing Britons and running them over and stabbing them and slashing them and blowing them up and all that kind of stuff. Social media companies such as Facebook and Twitter could be fined if they fail to remove extremist propaganda and terrorist material under proposals agreed by Prime Minister Theresa May and French President Emmanuel Macron. Now, what this will do is force companies like Facebook and Twitter and Google Plus and LinkedIn and half a dozen others to start monitoring even more closely your speech and conversation, and to be the judge and jury, or the jury and judge of your content. Nope, can't have this content, so they're basically going to start suppressing your speech. Because that is what May and Macron want. They want to suppress their ability to get news out to you or from you freely. Especially if you're going to be one of those people that stands against extreme Islam, then you're going to be considered an extremist yourself. Look, it's already happening. You're already considered extremist if you don't believe in terrorist Islam. You're already an extremist. So don't doubt. I mean, how many times have some of you people out there under the sound of my voice have had their posts or tweets deleted, not by you, but by the powers that be? How many of you out there under the sound of my voice have been, put in Facebook, what is known as Facebook jail? How many of you have been suspended by Twitter? So if you're going to leave that type of a decision in the hands of people who don't agree with you, do you think maybe that you're going to get kind of, taken advantage of? Well, of course, they're going to suppress your speech. And this is what they're going to do they're already doing it in Great Britain. This is what they're going to do to a greater extent in Great Britain and in France. Because they don't want people speaking out against the Muslim. Oh my goodness, why not? Do they deserve that much protection as they run around and kill your fellow citizens? They're killing children, not just adults, by the way. Little children are getting hurt and maimed and injured and killed as well. So I don't know why it's such a big deal. Why is there such a... Well, because Rod, if you talk about them like that, then you're going to upset them and anger them. And then they're going to want to attack you even more. Well, that's a bunch of bullpucky and you know it. They're going to attack you anyway. And if you don't talk about them, if you don't stand firm, they'll attack you even more because they'll view you as being weak and wimpy. Well, that's the way it is. We'll be back here tomorrow because we're out of time for today in 21 hours. Don't forget tomorrow is Hump Day Wednesday, and it is also time for Intel Reports with Agent 0010. See you then. Have a wonderful, hot Tuesday afternoon. Thanks for tuning in. I'm out.
Damn, it feels good to be a Clinton. Damn, it feels good to be a Clinton. A shameless politician always plays her cards right. Got a crew for the fight on the airwaves. Lapdogs in the press keep their mouths tight. Cause a Clinton never needs to explain why it is what they done or with who. A real Clinton knows that they're entitled, and you don't get to know what they do.
What difference does it make?
For a Clinton, what's loaded in some fat Apple file? A Clinton plays the victim for promotion. A Clinton kills it off with a smile. Damn, it feels good to be a Clinton. A server full of secrets ain't no thing. Damn, it feels good to be a Clinton. Nothing ever hits with the sting.